Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is Jonas Reports for the 10th of February. It's kind of an unimpressive end of the week here. We had a bit of a pullback, no real shock. We talked about NASDAQ in particular had positive extremes. We knew that these were extended. We were also recognizing that a pretty soft shakeout. Now, we had the crossover, but we had short-term buyers. We had the crossover of a green, which happened back over here before the breakout part of it. And then we started to see a tail off of short-term buyers. And we knew that there might be some fill back in this because it really wasn't expressing super duper strength. I think it was clearer here on the NASDAQ. As you can see, we were coming across, but we had these couple of positive extremes, which take you all the way back to here. Now, we haven't done anything like that, so we're kind of in a consolidation phase of it. But it's interesting, we're meeting right at the zero line here with everything. Midterm buyers falling off. We got shorts rising here. At the same time, you're at pretty much red DOC, just slightly over 1.8 there. But complete reset still of steel, so the potential for just coming back and filling in the positive extremes or even basing here at the ABM levels, very likely. However, what we're going to be keeping an eye out, obviously you have continued Eurozone situation. The worse this gets, that's going to put pressure on the S&P, and I think we're going to really be able to see through gold and through oil what's going on in China, because global demand remains zero. Now, of course, there's big excitement. Foxconn was supposedly using some special procedures and was going to reopen their facilities to start reproducing Apple phones and blah, blah, blah in China, signaling that maybe there's some control on the epidemic. But I think that's not what we're seeing here from some of the actual behavior, because this oil plummet is a indication of just complete slack in demand, and it's just like a fall off. So I don't see that starting up anytime soon. And as this gets at these levels and for an extended period, you're going to have problems that will ripple through the U.S. economy very quickly. You should also expect to see gold start to peak a bit more, given the fear nature of this. So those are the elements that we're watching. It hasn't happened yet, but neither has any real major expansion in the breakout that would be terrifying. When you start seeing cases, though, outside of China doubling, tripling, quadrupling, then you'll probably see some market reaction that will be a little more extreme than this. And it will be sudden, and it'll be swift, much like the futures open here. Literally just waterfall, and then it was bought back up as the news about Foxconn. And again, the U.S. is supplying an unbelievable amount of liquidity to hedge funds and the like to buy this market. So fight the Fed at your own risk, and if the Fed is going to throw everything at this to make sure that there isn't economic slowdown leading into an election, well, then that's what they're going to do, and you're not going to fight the Fed. They've unlimited bankroll. So they can just keep doubling down. I was so unimpressed with all of these buys. I didn't mark anything for my interest, because look at it. I mean, even though we had some of the rising DOC reds, the only one that actually had the green crossover was right here. It was fairly short-lived. We did it again, but again, this time we started failing with our oranges. We had a little bit of a dip of the orange here, but this is off of just like neutral, no reset of steel. So I got no spark with this, so I know that I'm just going to get a bunch of blah. So it wasn't until we got the dip right here, this one came, gave an okay, and then it did cross over. And then it had the most sustained power going through, and then it produced a similar DOC spread, but with a steel reset. So again, nothing too exciting from a short standpoint, because you know that you're just going to be going across for a little while until we got the meeting here and then the separation, and that I liked a bit more. And it still took a while for it to then break down. And once it dipped below there, we had dipped below the red line, so I knew that any pop was still going to test that, and that was not hard to see, because as soon as futures opened up, it did exactly as expected. And from that sell-off. You ended up with that orange dip, so that was very interesting, along with the steel crossed below cyan and then back above immediately after there, indicating that there was going to be a little more continuation to it, and in fact there was. And now we're sort of in a pause mode, and you can see yellow, but not full positive extreme, so didn't get overbought even within that press. So I think this is going to be the unknown factor that's going to continue to rage. I think that it's going to be mitigated for the most part, though, until there's some kind of breakout moment that it's become uncontrollable in a country other than China. Concern about the Beijing lockdown, though, going to have more of an impact. The real question is, outside of the mainland of China, will there be any broadening of the disease spectrum? I think there's so much awareness now that people are taking precautions early, so who knows, maybe that's going to be enough to stave off a worsening situation. So we will see. As always, though, trade well. We will talk again later.